y'all probably heard what Trump was talking about, and I know there are people who there's like, hey, Trump said to drink bleach or inject bleach, and that's I just watched the briefing, and I didn't hear him really say that, but he did use the word disinfectant non-medically, so I'd like to talk about that. So just kind of give my opinion on what I heard, the difference between disinfectant versus antiseptic, and then this is actually a great time to talk about ozone, hydrogen peroxide, and vitamin C, which have not. And I'm going to actually talk about that and how some people have gotten in trouble. I love science, but I think that our system here has been it's been hijacked, and it's more about how can people make money off of certain therapies. And it's about certain people in positions of power. We can talk about this. The peptides are basically getting banned. But certain people in position of power use their leverage to help increase their own dollar signs. But y'all pretty much know that. So, but let's just kind of talk a little bit about what Trump said. And from what I saw, he was sitting there talking to some people in the audience, and I think some doctors, and was just saying, hey, we know that these disinfectants basically kill the virus. I got some germicidal disposable wipes right here, and coronavirus is on here. We know that there are things that will kill the virus. And he's just like, hey, is there a way you can figure out to get these disinfectants in the body? That would be something, something interesting. What he said, because you see it gets inside the lungs and does a tremendous number on the lungs, which I believe he was talking about the coronavirus. So it would be interesting to check on that if we get these disinfectants in the body. So has this been done? Was he talking about bleach and Lysol? People think, oh, he's disinfectant. Talking about getting IVs of bleach and Lysol. Maybe. I don't know what's going on in that guy's mind. He's interesting. But I do want to kind of say, weigh in and say, hey, maybe he was talking about some of these other things. And what are these? So let's talk a little bit about the difference between a disinfectant and an antiseptic. So antiseptic is something that you put on the body to kill stuff, where disinfectant, we really reserve that term more for hard surfaces. Disinfect means the opposite of infect, which means bacterias, come in and take over. So to disinfect basically just means to destroy bacteria. But again, you go on Wikipedia, disinfectants are antimicrobial agents designed to inactivate or destroy microorganisms on inert and surfaces and inanimate objects, meaning they're really not supposed to be used on people. And the reason you use that term is because disinfectants can be a lot more harsh. For instance, like these germicidal disposable wipes I have here, it says do not use on human surface. In a sentence, a cleaning product with bleach is an excellent disinfectant since its main ingredients will cause the proteins and bacteria to unfold. So basically all these things are killing stuff. But again, usually when you talk about disinfectants, we don't want to say that we're using them on a human body. But what are the examples of these? Alcohol, bleach, chlorine, ozone, silver, UV light, hydrogen peroxide. These are all, you go to the CDC. These are all types of disinfectants. Some of these, I'm not giving medical advice, and you should check in with your doctor. And for information purposes only, some of these can be put on your skin and be fine. How many people have put hydrogen peroxide on your skin? Right? It depends on the concentration. Same thing with ozone, UV light. We get that when we go out in the sun. They use ozone to ozonate cars that have a bunch of a smell or bacteria, mold, whatever it is in a car. You can ozonate it out. They're using UV lights in hospitals to go in, and the UV light the whole room, and it kills the microbes on the surface. So again, now looking at antiseptic. So what's an antiseptic? So like chlorhexidine, okay, iodine. These are things that you put on the skin before you do like a procedure, like before you do an injection, or you would do something to slice open the skin. So, but again, antiseptic, the definition is just it's away from septic, right? So, and septic is it's basically bacteria taking over your body and going nasty. So antiseptics are antimicrobial substances that are applied to living tissue, the skin, to reduce infection. Used in a sentence, these soaps contain alcohol or an antiseptic as an antibacterial agent. What are some examples of these? Alcohols, iodine, chlorhexidine, ozone, hydrogen peroxide are all things that you can check with your doctor first, but things that in the medical field they put on the skin to kill this stuff. Because, if you have something on your skin, right? It's like say that I have a bacteria on my skin and then I poke it with a needle that drives the bacteria under the skin. And our skin is a barrier to help prevent microbes from getting underneath us and then eating us, basically. So that's kind of the main difference between disinfectant versus antiseptic. So technically, when you think disinfectant, that's not the word he should have used. So I hope that clears that up a little bit. But I want to talk about now, right, I said antiseptics that are also disinfectants. Main ones I want to bring up here is hydrogen peroxide. Again, these are on the CDC website. All antiseptics and disinfectants, if you go to their website, it shows hydrogen peroxide is on there. Now, there are some doctors that use these, and I'm not condoning them. I'm not telling you to do them, and I don't do them. But hydrogen peroxide, we know, is a disinfectant. So it kills bacteria, it kills bad stuff. So it would make sense that if somehow it got in your body and it wasn't detrimental, then maybe what Trump was talking about wouldn't be a bad idea. So there are people that have done IVs of hydrogen peroxide. And what's interesting, when you do high doses of vitamin C and high doses of ozone, once it enters the blood, the enzymatic reaction ends up producing hydrogen peroxide. And basically what hydrogen peroxide does, and ozone for that matter, is because they're highly reactive oxygen species, they tear down the cell walls of the bad guys. So we just have to make sure they're not tearing down the cell walls of the good guys too, right? DOJ moves to shut down sham coronavirus therapies amid hundreds of online scams. In this article in particular, the FBI went after a clinic that was doing ozone treatments. I think it was in Texas. And the problem is, as doctors, you just can't claim it treats anything, because once you claim it treats something, you're liable and you have to have studies and all that. So what it gets tough is like, what do you consider treating? You know, does a fever really treat a virus? Because when your body heats up, that's a natural reaction for your body to kill off these microbes. So it's a different form of deductive reasoning. What does what? Is it, if A plus B equals C, can you say that A gets rid of C or not? So there's some ozone places out there. They're all getting shut down. FDA is coming down hard on them. But then what I wanted to do is I just linked some studies here. I don't want to run through all of them, but there is some research coming out, and I do know plenty of practitioners that have used this therapy. Again, whether or not you want to say that it's proven or not, I think we're a free country as long as you're not hurting anyone, and that's the FDA's main argument, is like these treatments are harmful and they hurt people, let alone how many people died of opiates. Hundreds of thousands over the last couple of years. Anyone care about how many people die of ozone? Who's safe from what? How many people die under the knife and surgery? How many people die of, I think causes from the medical system of death are like number 2 or 3. And I'd hardly assume that ozone or vitamin C are contributing to that, but hey, what do I know? This happened too. The FBI raided in Detroit a clinic and they were giving away supposedly free high-dose vitamin C therapy. And the main problem is that the doctor was claiming that it helped. Now, there's a handful of studies, I should say, that help with anytime you get a cold or a flu, that vitamin C can help increase recovery time. Now, again, depends on who you work for and who your friends are to whether or not you can say that. But yeah, this center in Detroit were doing, even I'm saying, free for essential workers, and they got shut down by the FBI. Crazy times, just for putting vitamin C in their veins, and again, out of safety, taking away our liberties for safety. But what's crazy is you can also find articles that in New York hospitals, they were using high-dose vitamin C, and it was, but in China they were as well. And I'm very familiar with a lot of cases of people using high doses of vitamin C. And here are some more studies, some more links if you guys want to go check out and dive into high doses of vitamin C. And then also we can talk a little bit about UV light. Like I said earlier, they're using these UV lights in hospitals to actually go around and help kill all the microbes, and supposedly it's working. And I went ahead and just linked a couple other articles and Wikipedia, and like that's what I'm saying. Even on Wikipedia, it talks about ultraviolet and how it basically kills stuff. So wrapping up, yeah, Trump didn't exactly use the right vocabulary, but hey, maybe we'll shine some light on these therapies. Maybe we'll get more funding and get more research into ozone, vitamin C, and hydrogen peroxide, and we can make the world a safer and healthier place. So until next time, again, If you like the video, go ahead and give it a share. Hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the cool content I'm putting out. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, my friends.